Stop taking these verses out of context. Part 1. We've all seen it, and if we're honest, we've probably all done it. We find a scripture, pull it out of its original context, and use it as a get-out-of-jail-free card for our fleshly desires. It's a way to sin without the guilt. But when we twist the word to fit our appetite, are we following God, or are we just following ourselves? Today, we're looking at how two specific passages, Acts 10 and Mark 7, are constantly used to justify breaking God's dietary laws. The vision in Acts 10. One of the most common proof texts for eating whatever we want is Peter's vision in Acts 10. In this passage, we meet Cornelius, a Gentile believer seeking more of God. Meanwhile, Peter is on a rooftop, falls into a trance, and sees a sheet descending with all kinds of unclean animals. A voice tells him, "Rise, Peter, kill and eat." Now, here is the key to the misunderstanding. Peter was hungry, yes, but the message was never about food. It was about people. In Acts 10:28, Peter explains the vision himself. He says, "God has shown me that I should not call any man common or unclean." Before Messiah's resurrection, Jews and Gentiles were separate. But through Yeshua, Gentiles are adopted into the family, the Commonwealth of Israel. Ephesians 2:11-19. The vision was God's way of preparing Peter to enter a Gentile home, something that was unlawful by Jewish tradition at the time. It wasn't a green light for a ham sandwich, it was a green light for the gospel to reach the nations. The logic of holiness. Leviticus 11 outlines strict dietary laws. Many modern Christians claim these were ceremonial and were done away with. But there is more to it than ritual. These laws act as sanitary principles. Most unclean animals are scavengers, the biological garbage disposals of the earth. Science and public health data show that animals like pork and shellfish are significantly more likely to carry parasites, toxins, and zoonotic diseases. God isn't a liar, and he doesn't contradict himself. If he identified clean and unclean animals in Genesis 7, long before the nation of Israel even existed, why would we assume his definition of food changed? Segment 3, the Mark 7 defense. Then there is the Mark 7 defense. Many people point to the NIV translation of Mark 7:19, which says, "In saying this, Jesus declared all foods clean." But let's look at the context. 1. The conflict. The Pharisees were not upset because the disciples were eating pork. They were upset because the disciples didn't perform a man-made ritual of hand-washing. 2. The reality. This was about traditions of men versus the law of God. 3. The translation. A more accurate translation of the Greek in verse 19 is that the digestive system purges all foods, meaning it eliminates waste. Yeshua wasn't overturning the Torah, he was saying that eating with unwashed hands doesn't defile your soul. What defiles you is what comes out of a wicked heart. The conclusion. At the end of the day, we have to ask ourselves, are we seeking the truth of Scripture, or are we seeking permission to follow our own desires? We see instead a God who is consistent, a Messiah who upholds his Father's law, and a vision that was about the beautiful inclusion of people, not the inclusion of unclean animals on our plates. Following God means laying down our appetites for his holiness. It's about realizing that his laws are not meant to restrict us, they are meant to protect us and set us apart. But we've only scratched the surface. Stay tuned for the next video as we continue to stop taking these verses out of context. If this video helped you see the word in a clearer light, hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you don't miss part 2. Until then, walk in the truth. Shalom.